This is a story about a handshake deal that almost changed the world. It's about a high-stakes bet, a terrifying fear, and how it all fell apart. It starts with a simple question that keeps world leaders up at night. What if Iran gets a nuclear bomb? For years, the clock was ticking and the world was holding its breath. Then in 2015, a breakthrough, a deal called the JCPOA. Remember that acronym, because it's the hero of our first act. The bargain was brutally simple. Iran agreed to drastically slash its nuclear program. They shipped out 98% of their enriched uranium. They dismantled thousands of centrifuges, the machines that enrich it. And they allowed the world's most intrusive inspections. We're talking 24/7 cameras, monitors, and seals on everything. In return, the world, led by the US, lifted the crippling economic sanctions. The financial handcuffs came off. Iran could finally reconnect with the global economy. And you know what? It worked. For 2 solid years, international inspectors confirmed it again and again. Iran was holding up its end of the bargain. The threat level dropped. The world let out a collective sigh of relief. But here's the thing about deals, especially ones this big. They run on a very fragile fuel, trust. And in 2018, that trust was obliterated. A new US president came into office, called it the worst deal ever, and pulled the United States out. Just like that, the deal was broken. Can you imagine the psychological whiplash? Iran did everything it promised. They gave up their most valuable leverage, and they got nothing in return. Instead, the US didn't just bring back the old sanctions, it imposed a campaign of maximum pressure. The sanctions were harsher than ever before. The Iranian economy went into a nosedive. Their currency cratered. Ordinary people who had nothing to do with this suffered immensely. So, put yourself in Iran's shoes for a moment. You followed the rules. You kept your word, down to the last letter. And for doing that, you were punished. What would you do? You'd get angry. You'd feel utterly betrayed. And you might start thinking, if they're not going to play by the rules, why should we? That's exactly what happened. Iran began to push back, not with bombs or missiles, but with calculated, deliberate steps. They started turning their advanced centrifuges back on, one by one. They began enriching uranium again, creeping up to higher and higher levels. Each move was a carefully planned violation, a message sent to the world. You broke your promise. Now we're breaking ours. The result? The so-called breakout time, the window of opportunity the world would have to stop Iran from building a bomb if they decided to, shrunk dramatically. It went from over a year down to a matter of weeks. We were right back on the brink of crisis, maybe even worse off than before. Now everyone wants to fix this mess. Diplomats are scrambling, but it's become a dangerous game of chicken, a you-first standoff. The US says, Iran, you have to stop your nuclear work first, and then we'll talk. And Iran says, no way, you broke the deal. You lift the sanctions first, prove you're serious, and then we'll comply. All while the nuclear clock keeps ticking louder and louder. So this brings us to the final chilling question. Once trust is shattered on this scale, can you ever really put the genie back in the bottle? This story isn't over yet, but the lesson is terrifyingly clear. In the high-stakes world of global politics, a broken promise isn't just a diplomatic blunder. It can be a detonator for a crisis that affects us all. Thanks for watching. If this story made you think, hit that like button and subscribe for more deep dives into the stories that shape our world. See you in the next one.